Hey everyone, welcome back to the Poke Historian. I'm your host Matt X, and I was thinking to myself as I was looking at my cards, I'm like, you know what we haven't done in a while? We haven't done a top 10 video in a while. And then it's like, well, what do you do for a top 10 video? I've done a lot of different top 10s. It's kind of hard to come up with ideas for top 10s, to be honest with you, especially when I kind of like feel like I need to like actually own the cards to be able to show to you all. Like sometimes I'll like look at cards and I'll be like, oh, I could do like top 10 of this Pokemon. Oh wait, but I'm missing a couple of the cards I put on that top 10 list. So I don't end up doing the video, but for this one, I know I can do. So we're looking at top 10 E-Series Pokemon cards for me based on artwork here. So it's not necessarily going to be my rarest E-Series cards. Of course, there's certainly some very expensive cards on this list, but these are going to be my favorite artwork. And if you don't know what the E-Series of Pokemon cards are, they were a special series of 3 sets of Pokemon cards that came out in the early 2000s, and they had these scan barcodes on the sides. And what you'd do is you would scan them into this device called an e-reader, which you would attach to your Game Boy Advance. Yeah, pretty old system right there, huh? And it would teach you all about the Pokemon. There'd be all kinds of data available. Sometimes you even play like a cool song and stuff like that. But anyways, this is number 10 on the list. This is Totodile. I absolutely love this artwork. You get to see Totodile and Oddish here in their natural habitat, and you can see how scared Oddish is there running from Totodile. You don't really get to see the whole like hunter and prey dynamic too much in Pokemon cards, and Mitsuhiro Arita did not shy away from showing us this scene, and absolutely love it. God, he looks hungry, doesn't he? So that's number 10. Let's go on to number 9. Number 9, we have this very classic exclusive Japanese McDonald's card. Very obscure by Tanaka, but I love the artwork here. Togepi just taking a nap out here in this flowery meadow with a tree nearby. I have a soft spot for sleepy Pokemon cards, and of course, this one really takes the cake for me. I love Togepi. If you go back to the late 90s when Pokemon started, a lot of us were introduced to Togepi as kind of this very, very special Pokemon, and so it continues to be so for me today. Let's go on to number 8. Our little friend Totodile's Evolution. We got Feraligatr Expedition here. Absolutely gorgeous artwork. I just love, to me, I feel like Feraligatr is one of those Pokemon that's difficult to put like in a really cool position because of its like body frame, but like here I feel like Mitsuhiro Arita really just knocked it out of the park. Like Feraligatr is in its natural habitat, just swimming through the swamp, lurking around, probably looking to lunge on something. Kind of reminds me of Pokemon Snap 2 when you find Feraligatr in that game and like its head's above water, but then you got this whole body below. I guess just how like real alligators are in real life as well, but I just feel like this card really just makes Feraligatr look awesome. And hopefully someday, you can see I have the reverse holo. Hopefully someday I can get the regular holo version of it. I think that'd be really cool. Anyways, moving on to number 7, we got a big gun. We got Ho-Oh from Skyridge. Absolutely love this artwork. I love how you have the Nazca lines Ho-Oh here, and it's like looking down at it. And it just kind of gives like a really cool kind of like sort of South American vibe to it. I like all like the watercolors here, like in how Ho-Oh actually is drawn. Just kind of really looks like it was painted or something, so I just think it looks fantastic here. Kind of an unusual pose for O too. I like the sky in the background. Just a very, very interesting and unique artwork, and for that it definitely makes this list as one of my favorites. And this is one of the crystal cards, by the way, so these are pretty hard to get. Anyways, let's go on to number 6. Speaking of crystal cards, one of my more recent pickups, we have the Crystal Nidoking. It's funny, like with this card, well, I guess first off, it's from Aquapolis, but the funny thing with this card is like when I would like look at it online, stuff like that, I never really thought this card was like all that special. But like once I saw it in person, like there's something about how the holographic like texture on this card just pops for me. Like it just, I don't know, it like has kind of like a magical kind of aura about it, like sort of like a rainbow kind of like magic about it. It looks like it's almost in some sort of like crystal cave or something like that. And I don't know, it's really become a big favorite of mine. I actually like how Nidoking's drawn here too. It's kind of a unique pose, and I like all like the dark lines tracing around its body. Just a very cool card. Yoshida. Let's go on to number 5. Got another beautiful card. This one is from Aquapolis. We have the Espeon. So as you can see, this card is now graded. I actually picked it up raw when I first got it, and I like how this card is part of like a larger scene with Arcanine and Growlithe. It's all like centers around like this like city, and there's like this fountain down there, and you can see it right there, and all these Pokemon are hanging around like this like abandoned city or something like that. It's not exactly clear like what it is, but I love the way that city looks, and of course I love all the blues here. Blue is one of my favorite colors. I like how Umamoto drew Espeon here, and really become a fan of their work in general lately. And it just has a really kind of unique aesthetic to it that I don't really see in a lot of other Pokemon cards. But anyways, we got to keep moving because we're on to number 4. Got another evolution for you. And we have Vaporeon from Skyridge. Absolutely gorgeous card. You got Vaporeon in an action pose here, out in the desert, like leaping out of this oasis water into the air. And it's just very majestic looking. We got the art by Kimura. In the background, you can see like a little desert village and all the palm trees, and just a really unique, interesting take on Vaporeon. You know, you don't really see it in action poses like this too much. So definitely became one of my favorites when I picked it up recently. And you know, for a little while, like last year, like a lot of this vintage stuff was basically on sale. So like I'm happy I got to pick up some of the stuff when I did, because I don't know if I'd be picking up these cards now at the prices they're at. It's just gotten kind of high. But very grateful to have this card in my collection. Absolutely stunning artwork. And now we're on to my top 3, so you know we're going to be looking at some very good stuff. And if you've seen some of my other videos, you can probably guess what some of these cards might be. But let's go ahead and get into it. We got Umbreon from Aquapolis, baby. To me, at least, this is the coolest Umbreon card ever made. I love this city in the background and this giant moon. Like, you think Moonbreon's got a big moon? I mean, check out this moon. And then you got this awesome clock tower back there. And Umbreon is just on the rooftops, like jumping from rooftop to rooftop, just enjoying the night. And it just has such a cool aesthetic. And then if you don't know, you can go back and watch one of my first videos on the channel actually about this Pokemon. There's 2 other like sibling cards that go with this. There's like a daytime variant that's a Japanese McDonald's card, and then there's also a card from Unified Minds that features Darkrai too, and like all 3 of those make up what I call the Umbreon and the City trilogy. And to me, like they're the coolest trilogy of Pokemon cards around, hands down. I don't know why these cards in that trilogy don't get more attention, because to me they're fantastic. Anyways, beautiful card. Let's go on to number 2. We have a very, very big gun. Got old Lugia from Aquapolis. I mean, what more can I say about this card that I haven't already said before in my previous video on it? But it's just an absolutely gorgeous artwork. It just has such a grace and elegance to Lugia here. It looks very powerful, but just very sort of like divine and like peaceful. And I feel like the peaceful like aura that Lugia is giving off really contrasts with the storm that's going on in the background. Like the water's kind of realistic looking there and everything. And I don't know, I got this card back in like 2019, and I don't think I'll ever sell this one, no matter how high it gets. It's just become one of my favorite Lugia cards, and Lugia is definitely one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. And now let's go on to big number 1. My favorite E-Series card, at least by artwork, and that would be Crystal Celebi. Celebi is one of those Pokemon I feel like just doesn't get like enough credit. It's a really interesting Pokemon from Gen 2. Couldn't even really get it in Gold and Silver, at least in the States. Like it was almost like, it's kind of like how Mew was at Red and Blue, right? You heard about it, but you really couldn't get it unless you had a friend with a Game Shark. But I just love like the colors going on here. Like you got the green and blue and red, and then you got like all of like these vines growing, which represent like Celebi's power over nature. You got the moon in the background. And it looks like it's just got this magic to it. I don't know. And I think I actually like the reverse variant of this card better, because it's easier to see like the beautiful artwork that Mitsuhiro Arita's drawn. And like the colors like in the actual picture like go very well with like all the multicolors like actually in the reverse holo main section of this card. So absolutely beautiful artwork. Always be one of my favorites. One of my favorite Pokemon cards of all time, of course. And very, again, happy to have it in my collection. Anyways, those are my top 10 E-Series Pokemon cards, at least according to artwork. Thanks for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care.